Hello again, people of the internet. I'm Papa Hefe, and welcome to my channel. You know, braggadocio is not normally my shtick, but I want to do a little bit of bragging today. Not on anything that I've done or accomplished, but something that I've got. Something that I bet every single one of you who rides wants. See, today is December 6th. I'm on my way to get a Christmas tree right now, and it is 72 degrees outside. Now, I know that, you know, it's overcast, it looks kind of ugly outside. It's been sprinkling a little bit off and on all day, but it's kind of gorgeous outside, especially for, you know, December. I spent a decent chunk of my late teens and early 20s living in Oklahoma. And so while there is a lot about the South that I'm not a huge fan of, and I'm pretty vocal about the things that I dislike, we have fantastic weather. I have lived in some of the coldest and snowiest places in this country, and man, it sucks. You know, I was watching a video from Marvel Kid 87 the other day, and I gotta give my dude props. You know, he lives up in New York, and he rides year-round mainly because his motorcycle is his only means of transportation. But you know, it's in the 20s up there right now, and he's out there riding around in it, just sucking up the suck because that's what you've got to do. Here, you know, it gets down into the 20s. Hell, sometimes it gets down into the teens, and I'll ride in that. But we don't have that for months at a stretch. We might get, you know, 2 or 3 weeks of like, holy shit, it is cold. But for the most part, winter this close to the Gulf of Mexico consists of, yeah, it's 40 or 50 degrees. It gets just cold enough that like I have to put an extra layer on under my leathers, or I switch to my thermal gloves instead of these leather ones that I love so much. But not once, not ever, have I had to seriously consider putting my bike away for the winter. And as someone who takes motorcycling pretty damn seriously, you know, this is a pretty important part of my life. Stacking being able to ride all year round against all of the other things that I don't really like about living in the Deep South, I still kind of call that a win. I mean, I'm not saying that if I were still living in Oklahoma that I wouldn't ride in the winter. I totally would. I'm not saying that if I were still living in Arizona like I did for a while that I wouldn't ride in the summer. I totally would. But I also know how much both of those would suck. And compared to what I have to deal with here, man, this is nothing. So yeah, it's true that we're still having to fight the ghost of George Wallace like something out of a Dickens novel that just won't go away. It's still infested with meth-smoking, Bible-thumping misogynists who think brown people are the cause of all of society's problems. But you know what? It's December, and I'm on my bike. And if I had felt so inclined, I could have comfortably gone out in a t-shirt. As a matter of fact, we brought the motorcycles out of the garage and washed them and gave the car a good washing that was long overdue. And yeah, we were all hanging out in t-shirts, washing the car, washing the bikes in December. The best part about having all of this is that it came cheap. It came really cheap, because I live in a part of the country where there's this idea that, well, you don't have any culture, so nobody wants to live there. Well, obviously people do want to live here, but hey, if you don't want to live here, that's just fantastic, because that means it's cheap to live here. Like, stupid cheap. And the idea that the South doesn't have any culture is absolutely ludicrous. A lot of the greatest American literature came out of the South. All of the forms of music that you could call uniquely American came directly out of the South. You like jazz? Came out of the South. You like rock? Came out of the South. You like blues? Came out of the South. You like country? Came out of the South. And yes, it absolutely is a place that has a complicated history that we're still trying to deal with. But here's the thing. There is not a place on this earth that has ever been inhabited by humans that does not have a complicated history. I'm going to take an illegal shortcut. Probably could have made that gap. But here's my opportunity right here. Oh, they put up a gate? Lame. That gate did not used to be there.
Later that same evening.
Alright, so we have gotten the Christmas tree in question with a minimum of ordeal because thankfully Madre Jefe is as decisive a shopper as I am. We came, we saw, we got a tree, we got the hell out. And you might be curious, you know, well, Papa Jefe, I've watched some of your videos before, and I know you guys have got the pair of bikes. Other than that, you've got the Madre Mobile, and that thing's that's a Saturn. How the hell are you getting your tree home? And the answer to that is our good friend Cindy generously offered to come out here and brave this atrocious traffic and help us transport this tree home. But of course, she's only been out to our house one time, and finding her way out there is kind of a pain in the fifth point of contact. So I'm leading her on a pilgrimage out to redneck land where we live. And we're gonna set up the Christmas tree tonight. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not really a holiday spirit kind of guy, but I really love doing these kind of family things. And putting up the Christmas tree and decorating it, it's one of those things that probably because you only do it once a year, it's really fun, and it's a thing to look forward to. You ain't getting me, 5-0. So there you have it, a handful of reasons that I love living where I live, despite how vocal I am about how much it does suck in a lot of ways. Hello? No, they're in the house. Oh. I thought you had a copy on your car keys. Nice. All right. Well, we're on Moffett. We'll be there soon. Bye. Well, that's embarrassing. Madre Jefe's house key is locked in the house because that's where her motorcycle keys are, and I'm the one that put them there. So yeah, looks like she's waiting outside for us to get there. Oops. At any rate, it's a beautiful night out and it's fantastic weather. I'm really glad you could come along with me on this ride. You've been fantastic. I'm Papa Jefe. Stay shiny side up out there. Keep it rubber side down. Peace.